Hello, in this lesson we are going to cover DAOs, which stand for Decentralized Autonomous Organizations. I'm creating this video in November 2017. They aren't very popular at the moment, but I'm absolutely certain that these are going to take the world by storm in terms of their blockchain use cases. So first of all, let's just cover what an organization is. Let's just lay down that. An organization is a group of people working towards a common goal and or interest, usually and this organization, so this set of people, this group of people, they follow certain rules. They don't just blindly do what they want. They follow certain rules set in place by the government that it operates within, So there are certain laws, so it might be something as simple as minimum wage, so having to pay your employees no less than a certain amount, the number of hours an employee can work, the sort of business that you can actually operate. Perhaps certain operations are illegal, or maybe you have to have certain clearance or certain level of I would say, certain sort of barriers that you have to pass before you can get into certain industries. And it's also the rules of an organization. Rules of an organization are written in bylaws or the memorandum and articles of association. These may vary in terms of their name by country. So if you're not really familiar with these terms, then feel free to Google them with your country name and you will be able to find out what they're called in your country. And then you'll be fully aware what this is. It's essentially just something that you create when you register a company, when you first create a company, restructure it, and it's just the rules, what the organization intends to do and how it intends to do it. So a DAO is just a digital version of this. My thinking, okay, so that means it's just basically like a Google Doc they can access. Not quite. There's already digital versions of rules of an organization, whether the bylaws or a memorandum of articles of association. There's already a digital version that you can access online, but this digital version is written in source code to automatically execute commands based on conditions. So instead of having human interaction, when let's say a customer was to put some information in or input a certain command within your organization, within your sort of platform, it's automatically handled from start to finish, and it's executed executed not just from one sort of central system, because again it is decentralized, through, missing the H, consensus based algorithms. So it's executed through consensus based algorithms, and if you want to be very specific about it, which is a good thing to be, Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies such as Ether are technically DAOs. They are technically DAOs. And the DAOs because, yes, there is some centralization as I've covered in my sort of blockchain and cryptocurrencies video, so feel free to check them out in the form of exchanges and certain wallets. But if you don't have to use those systems, they just make it easier for the user. So if you go through the true raw nature of, let's say, Bitcoin, then it is fully automated. There is no person that really handles anything. It's just all completely done in terms of checking, in terms of transfer, in terms of being able to use it. So there's already decentralized autonomous organizations out there. But the DAOs that really excite me, beyond sort of these cryptocurrencies, are use cases for stuff like Airbnb, Uber, and other services like eBay, especially Airbnb and Uber. And the reason this really excites me is because something like Airbnb or Uber could be fully automated, and there's been analysts that have studied it and have said that it would actually be more effective in terms of cost and in terms of just the general sort of logistics of it if it was fully automated. Obviously, then a single company can't make a huge sum of money and pay their shareholders, so that's the reason why some companies don't want something like a decentralized autonomous organization. But let's think about it in the case of Uber, for example. So with Uber, I want to get an Uber, which is essentially just like a taxi. So I go on my phone, I launch an app, and then on the app, I say that I want like a car, a taxi, and so a vehicle picks me up. Vehicle picks me up. I get dropped off. I hope I get dropped off. Hope I don't get kidnapped. I get dropped off at my destination. I can leave a review. I can leave a review, as can the actual driver as well. So it's reversed. Payment is done via Uber. I don't pay the driver in cash or in teddy bears or cookies or anything like that. And when you think about it, the main part, which is essentially this, and this is really the sort of Uber side of it. The other side is human interactions. So this side of it can be automated. So in terms of when I say the vehicle picking me up, I mean more alerting a vehicle. So if I were to go onto the app, it could detect my location. It could have a general list of prices, and that could be based on factors of the economy, where I am. So it's automatically calculated just based on several different indexes that just measure how an economy is going and where I'm going and the sort of Uber vehicle that I'm using. And then it could say, okay, you'll be here in roughly 10 minutes. Contacts the Uber driver. Again, still all automated. Uber driver comes to me, picks me up once I'm dropped off. The review side, once I put it in, the actual processing of it, that could be all automated, which a lot of it actually already is. And then payment could be automated as well through smart contracts and a cryptocurrency based system. So you could have all of this just automated without an intermediary. for check-in. And you could even automate the driving with self-driving cars just on the horizon now. It's over the horizon. This is definitely a possibility. So this entire thing could be a... No, that was a terrible arrow. A DAO. So that's what a decentralized autonomous organization is. One thing I actually do want to cover, one more thing, is that it might sound like DAOs are new and they're just out of nowhere, and they're not really, because if you think about how humanity has evolved in terms of economics and production and distribution, labor, all of that stuff, it's been slowly going from, an individual doing everything in terms of hunting and gathering and building their own homes and doing all of that stuff, to it becoming a bit more almost autonomous, still with a lot of humans, but not having to build my own tools. Somebody else does that, so I only handle certain aspects. And then eventually getting societies where they actually have machines, and then there's stuff like the printing press, and then there's like the mills where they was creating cotton and creating clothing, and that was all just automated. And now with computers, so even before blockchain, we were slowly going towards a decentralized autonomous organization, or I would say a decentralized autonomous society, so a DAF. Hopefully this term gets picked up by economists. I doubt it will. It'd be cool if it did. So a decentralized autonomous society is what we were going towards anyway. So that's just some food for thought. Think about that. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. And as usual, thank you for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in my next lesson.